Welcome to Josh Sadler's show, and of course, the star of the show is here, Josh Sadler, with me. And Josh, boy, I tell you what, that crosstown showdown that we talked about. First of all, thanks for coming on the show a couple weeks ago with Toby. That was really neat.
Yes, sir.
And y'all were real good friends then, and then you lined up on the sidelines last Friday night, and you're coaching against each other. Game was over with. Went over and shook hands, and back to the old relationship back again. And I know you give him a hard time.
No, I get a little gut punch in there as we walk by. I got to give him a little bit on the backside. No, it's everything's good. I mean, I respect the heck out of what he's doing with his program over there at Schumacher. They played a great game. We didn't play as well as we wanted to, and didn't have the result that we wanted to. But at the end of the day, our kids played hard, and had to fight through some adversity, and now it's on to the next phase. I mean, we got to put that one in the past and move on to Waco, and then start getting ourselves ready for the off season.
How's Roderick doing?
He's doing okay. Shoulders is still bothering him, but he'll be out there, and we'll see whether he can go or not. That's going to be a game time decision, of course, and then we'll kind of go from there.
That has so much to do with that ball game. I mean, I know I said something to him about it, and then I know you wouldn't talk to him and say, "Hey, buddy, I was wonderful." You could share any conversation with me, but I had a smile on my face when you were talking to Roderick and coaching him up. After the ball game.
Well,
but I mean, that would have been that's going to be a totally different ball game if you don't get hurt.
Well, and I who knows what the outcome might be.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You'd love to say if you got to start quarterback, it's a different ball game, but
right.
I mean, we never know. But what I can say is that he felt bad that he couldn't play, and that was the conversation we were having. Is that he felt a lot on his shoulders as to why the outcome the way it was, and I told him in no way, no how is any of it his fault.
Mm-hmm.
None of it's his fault. I mean, you play this game, you play it as hard as you can, and if something happens and you can't play, it's just part of life. And that's the things that we have to teach these young men. And that's why football is such a great game for these young men to learn about life, because there's so many lessons inside the game and that they have to learn, like overcoming, injuries and things like that. You're a big-time team player and you're a big part of what your team's doing and you can't be there. Well, there's two things there. Number one, you've got to learn how to deal with that personally, and become a different type of leader on the field. Not necessarily playing, but maybe as the sideline coach, so to speak. But then it also offers opportunities for other kids to step up, to give them that chance that when they see it's their opportunity to shine, it's their time to go, they got to step up and do that. So I mean, there's so many lessons inside the game of football that I absolutely love. That's why I coach this game. That's why I spend so much time with it. Because it teaches our young men so much about life, and then the battles they're going to face when they're a man and they have a family and they have kids, and all those things are going to happen. It's just like the kids this morning when it was cold outside. We didn't really want to go outside and practice. And I'm like, guys, you have to learn how to do it right now. You got to make yourself get out there and go through it, because one day you're going to have a kid at home, you're going to have a wife at home, and you're going to have to get your butt out of bed and you're going to have to go to work.
Yeah.
Whether it's cold, whether it's rainy, whatever it is, you're going to have to do that. But that's what this game of football gives us. It gives us that outlet to teach those kids those things every single day. It's a beautiful game, and I enjoyed that time with Rod right there to have that kind of lesson, so to speak, about life. Never miss those times to teach those kids those lessons.
I've seen you do it so many times now.
Yeah.
Just the year or so that I've known you. So
yeah.
Respect, brother.
Thank you.
As the kids say, respect. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But let's talk about the Waco Lions.
Yep.
This is a team that wants to win.
They do.
They want a victory, and so they're playing at home. You got to play at WISD, and so you got to make that walk down the ramp and get down the field.
We do, and they're a good football team. They play everybody, very tough. And until something happens, and then it kind of gets away from them a little bit. But I mean, I'm watching the first half of every single game they've been in, and they're tooth and nails. They're a good football team, and they're very good up front. And that's the thing that probably worries me the most is their D-line. They're very active, very big, very strong, and their linebackers are pretty good sized kids. I mean, their secondary can run. They're pretty good defensively, and we're gonna have our hands full. And so, they've given everybody fits early. I mean, they've given Red Oak fits early, they've given Shoemaker fits early, they've given everybody fits early, and then something's happened and it's kind of gotten away from them. And so, we know we're going to have to go in there and play well. We know we're going to have to go in there and do the things correctly that we're supposed to in order to be able to, hopefully come out with a win in this thing.
Yeah, they're rebuilding program more or less right now. It's on the peak on the way up right now, so next year going to be even better than Waco High.
Yeah. Coach Helt, he again, you hear this from me a lot, but we got some really good coaches in our district, and Coach Helt's one of them. He's done a good job with trying to build that program back. The numbers in that program were down so much. I think the first time that I saw him there, they had 32 kids on the varsity and barely had a JV, barely had a freshman team. There wasn't 100 kids in the program, and that's a big 5A program. And now he's gotten the numbers back to that respectable number inside of 5A Division I. And so you can see the growth, you can see the build in their program that's happening over there. And now you're starting to see the competition factor come back in them, where they're competing with everybody tooth and nail. And so it's getting better every single year. So it's no surprise. I know he's a good football coach, and I fully expected it from him. So, I know that when we travel down to Waco, we're going to have our hands full, and we're going to have to get after their tail.
And your quarterback will be starting his first game?
Well, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with that yet. Like I was talking about before, Rod, he could be a game time decision. Yeah. I'm not going to give up hope on that. If he can go, he can go, and if he can't, he can't.
But the other kid, did well.
Yeah, he did a good job. And we're preparing him just the same.
Yeah.
And then
next man up. Huh?
That's it. We have to have that mentality. It doesn't matter whether it's a quarterback position or whether it's at a DB position. It has to be a next man up mentality, and people have to be ready in those situations. And I think where coaches get in a bind is when they don't practice for that situation. So we're practicing every single one of those situations, whether it's with Chris Webb at the helm at quarterback, or it's Rod at the helm at quarterback, or whether it's putting Boatner back there and letting him do some of those things at quarterback. We're practicing all those situations just so, if things don't work out exactly the perfect scenario like we want it to, hopefully we can be prepared and move the football and score some points still.
Yeah, and I know some crowds. The crowd there, this Booster Club has been unbelievable this year.
Right.
And the things that they've done. And
right.
I know you'll travel well to Waco. There'll be a lot of people there.
Well, and one thing that's, kind of a side note, this is Killeen High School's 1,000th game.
How about that?
Yeah, and so we are taking spirit buses and everything else with us. We're trying to get as many Killeen folks to come to Waco, because unfortunately we're having to play our 1,000th game at Waco, but let's pack those stands. Let's celebrate the 1,000th game in Killeen High School football history, at Waco. It doesn't matter where it has to be. Let's celebrate it at Waco. And hopefully the Kangaroos can come out on top and do what they're supposed to do, and we can make the 1,000th game a memorable game for Killeen High School.
I wonder who's been keeping track of that. I think Coach Bloomquist is in there somewhere counting. I know
he probably is.
He brought me the Killeen Ellison list from over the years.
Yeah.
For all the different, he knew every coach that was in every game, what the final score was, and everything. So those are the kind of guys.
Well, I think Jamie Garrett was the one that first caught it. Over there at the Career Center.
Right.
But he talked to me about it when we had an interview one time. I had no clue. But I think there's a records page on the internet. There's everything's on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
There's something on there about Texas high school football records, and you can go look it up at Killeen High School. And sure enough, it's sitting right there. We were 10 games shy, coming into the season, and there it is.
That's crazy.
And they found it, and they're doing a good job of pubbing it and trying to get, like I say, spirit buses going down to Waco so we can get as many kids going down there to celebrate the 1,000th game in Killeen High School history. So I'm excited.
And you're coaching it, buddy.
I am. I just hope we're doing a good job and we represent Killeen High School well, because there's been a lot of great football players, a lot of great football teams, and a lot of great football coaches before us. So all I can do is hope that we're doing a good job of representing the traditions that they've instilled in this program. When you have 550 or so wins in school history, and you have a state championship, and there's just so much tradition in this program, and just to be a part of it is an honor. And I just hope that we can, we're doing things right, and people are proud of the way we're trying to bring this this program back to life.
You did a really, really good job. I can't use the word I wanted to.
Well, I appreciate it.
You're doing a really, really good job, man.
I appreciate
it. I'm proud to be a Killeenite and to have you over here at KHS, because when I was a kid, that was all that. I grew up in this little gym over here.
Yeah.
When my sister were going to school here, so when I was a kid, I was a Killeen kid until Ellison, of course. So, man, there's a little bit of maroon blood in there, mixed with the crimson and the green, and now it seems like all of them, supporting all these kids. This is wonderful, but great job. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be back to see you next week.
Okay.
We can do a season wrap and everything like that, and I just want you to go out there and have a good time. Make sure those kids have a good time.
Yeah.
Some of those seniors playing in their final game, I know that's important to them, and to you also.
Well, and it's important to our seniors because they have an opportunity to have a winning season. They have an opportunity to finish out the season 6-4. And that's been the first time that's happened at Killeen High School since 2012. And so they have a chance to not only lay the foundation for the future, but to leave a legacy as well. To leave that point right there. This is when it took off. This is when everything started on the rise to where we're going to be great. And so that's what I keep trying to tell those kids is leave your legacy. Leave your mark on this program that's a lasting mark forever. We may not have made the playoffs. We may not have matched that goal that we truly wanted this year. But you still have something that you can leave. You still have something to give to this program, for the future, for these young men who are below you. That leadership, that small little bitty piece of leadership is still right there to give. And, hopefully that's what we're going to go out and do on Friday night.
Well, I know you will. I know you will. I'll be there in spirit, brother.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right, as always.
Go Roos, baby.
You're watching I-14 Sports Network.